All right, good morning, everybody. Obviously, we're dealing with a very sensitive and ongoing issue over at Columbia University, and also one that potentially is spreading, around the city and around the country. So it's important that we come up today and just from the NYPD's direct voice that you hear some of the legal issues that we have to deal with while we prepare our operational responses to these type situations. So with me today is Commissioner Mike Gerber, our Deputy Commissioner for Legal Matters. We also have Deputy Commissioner Kaz Daughtry, who's our Deputy Commissioner for Operations, and we're joined by Fabian Levy, who's the Deputy Mayor of Communications. All right, so Mike, you want to step up?
Sure. Okay. Good morning, everyone. I just want to address a few of the issues that have been coming up over the past few days regarding what's happening at Columbia and around Columbia. And I first of all just want to start with the sort of key point, which is Columbia University is private property. And so the nature of police action, what we can do, what we can't do, is very, very different on private property than it is on a public street. So if there's a crime in progress, if someone's in danger, as with any private property, we're going to go in. We're going to keep people safe. If someone, for example, is being attacked, we're going to go into Columbia University as we would to a private home to help protect that person. But absent exigency, absent some ongoing crime, we cannot just go onto Columbia campus as we see fit. It is up to the university to decide whether or not they want us on campus. As a general matter, Columbia University, and this goes back many years, does not want NYPD present on campus. That is their decision. Last week, on Thursday, they informed us that they had students who were trespassing. They asked us to come onto campus to take action, and we did. But that was an exceptional case. In the normal course, they've made clear that we're not to be there, and so we're not there. Now, around the university, in the streets around the university, that's public property, there we have a very large police presence, and our officers obviously are going to take action to prevent crime and to make arrests if there is a crime. So obviously, any kind of violence is not going to be tolerated. Any kind of property damage is not going to be tolerated. Any sort of criminality is not going to be tolerated, and that includes harassment or threats or menacing or stalking or anything like that that is not protected by the First Amendment. Now, of course, protecting First Amendment rights is absolutely crucial. It is central to what we do and to who we are. So we're always going to protect people's First Amendment rights. But to the extent you have criminal conduct that's not protected by the First Amendment, we're going to take action, and our officers are very clear about that.
All right, so we'll take a few questions, but we'll work right from left to right. So, don't yell out. I'll get to everybody, all right?
So, Diamond. What is happening for students who are attending Passover Seders tonight? What is happening in general? Have there been any threats against the campus in relation to the upcoming holiday?
So, in general, I'll let Commissioner Daughtry talk about, just some of the presence that we have out here. But there's been no credible threats to any particular group or individual coming from this protest or any other. But in terms of resources and some of the things that we've been doing, I'll let Commissioner Daughtry talk about that.
Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner. To your question, we have been in contact with the school, and we advised the school that we would like them to have what's called safe corridors, where officers that the school, we told the school officials where our officers will be stationed at along the route if any of the students wanted to go off campus to go to wherever they want to go, but we're advising them to use our safe corridor pathways. Thank you.
So today at the university, a professor was barred because they couldn't ensure his safety. Is the NYPD at any point, if the campus cannot ensure somebody's safety, is able to step in, or does that go back to
Let Commissioner go.
Yeah. So the university makes decisions about who they let on their campus or don't let on their campus. And they're doing their own analysis, making their own decisions, making their own safety determinations. That's not us. Again, they're a private university, private property. Those are their decisions, not ours. If someone is on campus and they are in physical danger, if they are about to be attacked, for example, we're going to respond immediately, again, as we would in any location. But in terms of the decisions of the university in this regard, that's really a question for the university.
Just not including the request for assistance from last week, recently has Columbia University reached out to the NYPD for any assistance in future enforcement action?
So there have been a small number of instances in connection with some protests on campus where there was a request for police presence. I don't have an exact number for you. Certainly I know that on October 12th, there was a very large protest and counter-protest on campus. And I remember in connection with that, the university did ask us to have a presence on campus to make sure that everyone was safe. That was October 12th. There may have been some other instances between October 12th and last Thursday. I couldn't give you an exact number, and whatever that number is, it'd be very small. These are exceptional.
I'll add to that. No, there's not. But to answer your question, the borough commander up here, Ruel Stevenson, has been in close contact with the school administration here, and they asked for the only NYPD assistance that they have currently asked for is for us to patrol the outer perimeter of the school.
Lisa Evers, Fox 5.
What about the expected protests at some of the other college and university campuses throughout the city? What kind of plans do you have for them?
Yeah, Lisa, I think exactly what Commissioner Gerber said earlier, it'll be the same. Obviously, if there's a protest anywhere, we have to respect people's First Amendment rights. However, people should be aware that if you cross that line and commit a crime, the NYPD will respond accordingly. So we are aware of potential other protests similar to this popping up, but there's that line between First Amendment rights and crimes being committed.
We've got Sky News right down here. Thank you very much. I'm not sure which of you is best to answer this, but could you give us a sense of how challenging this moment is for you, both in terms of your ability to police, but also your judgment as you judge what is and what isn't a crime?
I think several of us can jump in on this. First, I'll say the NYPD is the most adaptable police department in the country, if not the globe. All right, we do this on a regular basis while still keeping the other boroughs safe, tourists, people who live and work here safe, special events, protests. So this is not abnormal for us. All right, so this is not stretching our resource thing where we're concerned about that. Our biggest concern is just to make sure that people remain safe in this area, but it's not a concern of ours in terms of our ability to respond. But in terms of some of the legal challenges, I'll let Commissioner Gerber again just talk about it.
Yeah, sure. So, and I really appreciate the question. This is very sensitive. It's incredibly important. We work incredibly hard to get it right. On the one hand, public safety is paramount, and not allowing criminal conduct to go on is, of course, central to what we do every day. We also are incredibly committed to making sure people can exercise their First Amendment rights. And determining when something goes from protected speech to unprotected speech can be very context specific, can require a lot of nuance, and you're right, we have to make calls on a daily basis. We're making judgment calls. We're doing it to the very best of our ability, and the stakes are high. There's no question about that.
James Ford. Appreciate it. Just right now, there are tents set up again on campus. Is there, what preparations does the NYPD have for that? Possibly could be a repeat of last week.
Yeah, Jane, I'll let Commissioner Gerber jump in. But the one thing I will remind you of is just, even on the first day that we were asked to come on campus, if you saw how the NYPD conducted themselves that day, it was remarkable. I think that it was done with very minimal contact, and most people who observed that actually complimented the NYPD. But just to add to, I'll let
So I just want to be clear at one point. When it comes to the university's internal rules about tents, so rules about how and when students can gather, those are university rules, right? We are not the enforcers of those rules. When we went in on Thursday, that was because the university contacted us and said that these students, having broken various rules, are trespassing. They are not permitted to be there, and we were asked to take action and did take action with a private property owner telling us that a trespass was happening. But when it comes to university rules about tents up, tents down, that's really a question for the university.
Hold on 1 second. And just to add on to what the Commissioner Gerber said, James, that day when the NYPD was called in, the officers did a fantastic job. 108 arrests were made that day. I'm not saying that the officers like arresting the students there, but it went off without any incidents. And the NYPD is ready, when needed, to go back and to help the school out, Columbia University out, or any educational institution in this city. Just to add on to that, so far from January 1st to now, there's been over 1,100 protests in this city. 1,100. And like the Commissioner Shepherd said, Police Commissioner Caban's department can adapt to anything that's thrown at them.
Just to go back to that question of safety, so have you had any reports of students on campus either being harassed or assaulted? And I guess, how do you guys communicate with the Columbia Police to be able to even get that kind of data? Because wouldn't it be reported to their specific public safety office first?
As far as the reports on campus of, we have received reports that students have been, with the Israeli students were walking on campus, had their flags taken away from them, snatched out of their hands. We also received reports that the Israel students, there were some hateful things that was said towards them, and they wanted to know if that was a crime or not. But there has been, we haven't received any reports of any physical harm against any student. However, if there's any student, Jewish or whoever, that's been assaulted or wants to make a police report or wants to talk to the police, we encourage them to call 911.
All right, this will be our final question over here.
Just a question for you guys. In terms of when you called in last time, they waited a little bit until things kind of got a little bit chaotic there on campus. There were already bathrooms set up, a lot of stuff was going on. Does that make it more difficult for the NYPD to then move in kind of at that final hour once the campus says come on in?
No, I don't think any situation is too difficult for us, or it didn't make it more difficult for us. It's just we understand that Columbia is the landlord there, and we have to wait until they decide that they want our presence on their campus before we move in. So if you saw how it worked that day, it went pretty smooth. No injuries to any of the students or officers, and so that's what we want. And I don't think it made it more difficult for us out there at all. All right?
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.